and welcome to another episode of the show. Tonight we have a very special episode for you featuring actual members of the Danish royal family and their acquaintances. This may prove to be one of the most exciting episodes we have ever done. Now, those of you who've seen the show before know that I like to let my guests do all the explaining. So without any further ado, please welcome our first guest for the day, Mr. Hamlet. Welcome to the show, Mr. Hamlet. Is that your first name or your last name?
Either.
Excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about why you're here?
Well, I was asked to be here. Where else should I be?
Well, it says here that you're in love with this lovely young lady, Ophelia. I spoke to her backstage. Is that true?
It may be.
Why don't we bring her out? Please welcome Lady Ophelia to the stage. Welcome to the show, Lady Ophelia. Perhaps you can explain to us what's going on here.
Well, I've thought for a while that Hamlet was in love with me, but he's been acting so strange lately
I can see that.
that I don't know what to think of it. I really do wish we could be together, but he keeps pushing me away. And then, on top of that, people keep telling me that I shouldn't be with him.
Oh, that's terrible. Who was it that said that?
My father, Polonius,
Old windbag.
Watch your mouth, he's backstage.
and my brother Laertes as well.
I see. Now, Laertes did agree to come on the show today, but unfortunately it seems his taxi to the studio has been delayed by heavy traffic, so he hasn't arrived just yet. However, we do have Polonius backstage. Can we have him out here? Welcome to the show, Polonius.
Oh, thank you so very much, sir. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to come on your show. You know, I've been watching it since the first episode aired.
Oh, thank you.
You know, my favorite episode was the one where you had those two young lovers, Romeo and whatever the other one's name was. And you did a test to see if he was cheating on her with other girls at the parties. It was so spicy, it takes me right back to my youth. I have it PVR'd at home and everything.
Excellent. Now, what's your take on the situation?
Well, actually, it reminds me of a story I once heard. This one time, a few years ago, I was taking a ferry over to the other side of the river, and I got to talking to the ferry driver. He told me a story about this young girl from a village she used to live in, who fell in love with a rich man, and she clung on to him the same way a caterpillar clings onto a leaf on a tree. But one day, he lost all his money, or maybe he was robbed, or something, I can't remember. But either way, it didn't work out in the end. It was a terribly sad story, and by the time we reached the other side, I was almost in tears. He told the story so well that I had to give him a little bit of extra money for the ride, so I suppose he had a few extra beans for supper that night. So I guess it ended well for somebody.
What exactly does this have to do with these two?
Well, it has nothing to do with them, I suppose, but you must admit it's a great story, and a short one too. Brevity is absolutely essential for a good storyteller, you see. If you can't express your thoughts in a timely manner, then nobody will listen to you. Luckily, everybody always listens to me, so I know I must be a good storyteller.
Well, Polonius, I'd really like to get back on track. Your daughter says that you told her she shouldn't be with Hamlet here. Is that really true?
I did say that. It's because Hamlet's the Prince of Denmark, and as the prince, he'll be expected to marry someone of high stature. Maybe the daughter of a king or an emperor or a president, or someone else who's in control of a country, or at least a sizable portion of land. Ophelia's not one of those people. So if he's with Ophelia today, who's to say he won't leave her for someone else tomorrow? I couldn't bear to see my own daughter so heartbroken. I did say that. It's because he's royalty and she isn't, though I like to think we're involved enough in the palace to be practically royalty, if you know what I mean. But as the Prince of Denmark, Hamlet will be expected to marry someone of high stature, the daughter of a king, or an emperor, or a president, or someone else in control of a country, or at least a sizable portion of land. Ophelia's not one of those people. So if he's with Ophelia today, who's to say he won't leave her for someone else tomorrow? I couldn't bear to see my own daughter so heartbroken.
But you're making quite an assumption, aren't you? If he truly loves her, then he would never do a thing like that. Would you, Hamlet?
What do you think?
Now, how do you know he doesn't truly love her? I know he's royalty and she isn't, but it wouldn't be the first time a prince fell in love with a commoner. Surely you all remember these two.
Who in God's name are those? Certainly no Danskers, or I'd know 'em.
Oh, never mind. Go on.
Well, I have with me this love letter. It was written to Ophelia by the young Prince Hamlet. I found it in her powder room.
Polonius, what on earth were you doing going through her powder room? What a terrible invasion of privacy. She's no child, you know. There could have been any amount of personal and sensitive information in that letter. Let me read it. To the celestial and my soul's idol, Ophelia, doubt thou the stars of fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet. This is pure drivel.
Exactly. It is a letter of infatuation, not a letter of true love at all. It is the essence of youth. I will admit that I wrote many letters of similar substance when I was his age. Luckily, nobody else ever read mine. Not even the person to whom they were addressed, in fact. It was a sad time. But to state my point, as I am most well known for doing, I simply do not believe any good can come of this romance. In fact, if it were up to me, these two would have nothing more to do with each other at all.
Now listen, Polonius, I understand why you're concerned, but if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't think it's any of your business what they do with each other. These two are in the prime of their lives, unlike you and I, and I think they should be able to decide what to do going forward without some interfering old man standing in their way. Wait a minute, where does she think she's going? Get her back here! Now hold on, don't run away. What have you got there?
These are the gifts that Hamlet got me. I want to return them. My father was right.
You're absolutely sure?
Absolutely. For instance, this promise ring was attached to a beautiful letter. Hamlet, why don't you write me things like that anymore?
I never gave you that.
Of course you did. Look, you signed it.
It's forged. How odd.
And these. They were a beautiful gift at the time, but now they just remind me of the past.
I never touched such a thing.
Well, you used to all the time.
Nonsense. The thought of it disgusts me.
And these ceremonial wines. They were sweet before, but have now soured with age, much like your love.
much like you. Wow. How could I love her? What ridiculous behavior. I never loved her.
Well, I'm glad that's settled. Rather unfortunate outcome, to be sure, but settled nonetheless. I think we should go to a commercial break right now. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
To be or not to be? That is the question. The answer: to be at Street Fashions. Be there for Levi's jeans. Street Fashions has the best prices, the best quality, and the best selection of Levi's jeans anywhere. Be who you want to be in Levi's jeans from Street Fashions. To be or not to be? Who do you want to be?
Welcome back to the show, everyone. And welcome back, Mr. Hamlet. You do seem to be in a much better mood. What's happened?
What's happened? These wines are excellent.
Ah, of course. Well, you've got a very interesting story to share with us now, haven't you?
I do. Just a while ago, I was told about my father's death. You've heard about that, haven't you?
Oh, I certainly did. It was a terrible loss for Denmark. What a shame that there had to be poisonous snakes in his favourite napping spot.
A terrible loss indeed. But I've been told he was murdered.
Murdered? Who on earth told you that?
It was his ghost.
His ghost?
Well, you may find it hard to believe, but it's true. I saw him outside the castle where a few of my guards were keeping watch. They saw him as well. He spoke to me and told me that my uncle was responsible for killing him.
Your uncle? Not Claudius.
Bingo.
A shocking allegation. You said your guards actually witnessed this?
Well, not what he said, but they did see him. In fact, I have one of my good friends backstage who can vouch for me. Horatio is his name.
Can we get Horatio on the stage? Welcome, Horatio. So, you've seen this ghost?
I have, and I'm quite the skeptic too. It was very clearly the dead King Hamlet.
Really? Were there any cameras or anything else that would prove his existence?
Not that I know of.
When did you see him?
In the early hours of the morning,
And you had been out for the night watch, is that correct?
I had.
Then don't you think it could have been your imagination? Or hallucination, perhaps, since you were so tired? I simply find it hard to believe. I'm an old-fashioned man, you know.
It's understandable. I would say the same thing if I hadn't been there.
Fair enough. We have someone else backstage who'd like to comment on this. Please welcome the Queen of Denmark herself, Gertrude, to the stage. Hello, madam.
Hello to you.
Now, what's your opinion on all these ghost stories?
Well, I don't believe it for a second. I saw Hamlet talking to that so-called ghost on one occasion, and there was nothing there. I think he's crazy.
Fair enough. I can see why.
You know, I have him backstage as well.
Who?
My father.
The ghost of your father?
Indeed.
Will he come out?
Not with these two here.
Very well. Would you mind? This is something I've never done before on the show. please welcome the ghost of King Hamlet himself to the stage. There he is, I see him.
Yes, indeed. I am here. Everything that Hamlet has said is true. I was killed by my own brother, Claudius, in my sleep. I want your audience to know the truth about him.
How many of you can see him? None? Interesting.
He can only be seen by certain people.
Oh, Hamlet, you haven't drugged my coffee, have you?
Oh, certainly not.
Well, luckily for all of us, I actually have a way to verify the authenticity of the ghost. That is, if you'd like to let me try.
Oh, no.
Oh my! I think we'd better go to another commercial break. Back in a minute. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back, Hamlet, again. We have a very exciting segment lined up for you this time, so I'd like to get right into it. Hamlet here says that he's finally ready to confront his family with the accusations. Please welcome Gertrude to the stage once again. Welcome back, madam.
Pour me some of that, would you?
Your son here has something he'd like to tell you.
What is it?
Claudius is a murderer. He killed my father.
That's ridiculous. Why would you say such a thing? On national television, no less.
Listen, you must stop sleeping with him. He doesn't deserve to be with you. It's horrible.
Ugh, Hamlet.
What's this? An assassin? A terrorist? Take this!
Oh, it's Polonius. How tragic. Not to worry, the show must go on. I'll simply have one of my security personnel deal with this. I'd like to announce that we have a very special guest backstage with us. So please give a very warm welcome to the King of Denmark himself, Claudius. Welcome, Your Majesty. I certainly hope you can make sense of all this.
In fact, I can. Hamlet is simply crazy. All of these concerns are nothing more than figments of his imagination. It was caused by the death of his father, no doubt. A man who was very dear to my own heart. A boy is simply not the same without his father. You know, I've tried to do the best I can in his place, but even still, I know Hamlet is suffering.
You're the cause of that suffering, you know.
A fine example. Clearly he is not in a good state of mind if he can speak to me that way. Wouldn't you agree? A young man like him should have more respect for his elders.
True enough.
But how can I respect the man who killed my father? He's not worthy of it.
But you don't know that. The only proof you have is the word of a ghost. And I don't even think that was the truth. You're out of your mind.
So you would think.
Hamlet, these ambiguous answers of yours are getting on my nerves. It doesn't become a crown prince to act this way. Why can't you take anything seriously?
I take this matter very seriously.
Then you don't show it. You're acting stranger than those two weirdos you went to school with.
Oh, come on, what's wrong
Hamlet,
with you?
you're
What
such
are
a
you
prick.
thinking?
Like,
How can
honestly,
you
I just
possibly
wanna
do
live with
this
this
to
guy.
yourselves?
It's
How
who I
could you get
really
married
like,
to
it's
each
who I
other?
truly
It's
love.
unbelievable.
You're not getting
I
that
can't
through your head.
believe
It's
it.
not your
To
choice
be or
to have
not
a
to be, that's the
relationship with,
question.
but whatever, I guess
Aye,
you
there's the
can
rub.
think you can
This
just
is
say whatever you want on
absolutely
national
disgusting and
television about me and
disgraceful.
my
I can't take
husband.
it anymore.
That's totally
You're
fine.
terrible parents.
Didn't know you
Oh
control my
God,
relationships
I hate
now,
you
but
people.
whatever.
This is unbelievable. Why did I come on this show with you? Holy crap.
Stop! 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 I've just received word of a terrible development. It seems that Lady Ophelia has been found dead in her own dressing room. She was drowned in the bathtub.
Oh, stuff your news. This is
Hamlet,
incredible.
you're
I
such a
can't
prick.
believe
Like,
you would do it
honestly,
to
I just
yourselves.
wanna
What were
live
you
with this
thinking?
guy.
Come on,
It's what I
what's
really
wrong
like.
with you?
It's
What
what
are
I
you
truly
thinking?
love.
How can you
Excuse
possibly
me?
do this to yourselves? How could you get
Laertes has
married to each
arrived.
other? It's unbelievable.
Mother Basiliza, she is the Republicana. Oh yeah, hey. Mother Basiliza, you know your mother call you. Wow. Mother Basiliza, you know your mother call you. Hey. 'Cause every day you get to put up on the street corner. You chat your friend, if it that the one when named Lana. A little lamp and that's you when I mix up and blender. 'Cause people mix you up and call yourself untender. Mother Basiliza, you know your mother call you. Mother Basiliza, she used to respond me corner. Oh yeah, hey. Mother Basiliza, you know your mother call you. Wow. So Mother Basiliza, you know your mother call you. Hey. 'Cause every day you get to put up on the street corner. You chat your friend if it that the one when named Lana.
Hey, Mariano, I think we're here.
Finally, this has been the longest and most uncomfortable cab ride I've ever had.
Hey, patience, man, patience. You know, I can't control the traffic now, and I just drive the car.
Oh yeah, Mother Basiliza, wow.
Such
What
a
are you
prick.
thinking?
Honestly,
How can you
I just
possibly
wanna
do
live with
this
this
to
guy.
yourselves?
It's
How
what I
could you get
really
married
like.
to
It's
each
what I
other?
truly
It's
love. It's what I
unbelievable.
not.
Enough! The man of the hour has finally arrived. Please welcome Laertes to the stage.
Hello, Laertes. Your father and your sister are dead. Hamlet's to blame.
How did this get so empty?
What's this? Test results. Oh, for Claudius. Excellent. Now we can settle this once and for all. Claudius, we asked you, do you know for sure who committed the murder of King Hamlet? You said no. Why would you say no? Because I was telling the truth. The test says you lied. It's wrong, it's wrong. We asked, were you involved in any way in the murder of King Hamlet? You said no. The test says you lied on that one as well. Oh, that's outrageous. We asked you, Claudius, did you personally commit the murder of King Hamlet? I'm sorry to tell you, Hamlet, but Claudius failed every single question on the test. My father is avenged. I've never seen such a terrible bloodbath. Is anyone left?
Only Horatio, sir.
Bring him out. I'm terribly sorry, Horatio, but it seems that everyone else is dead. They are? Very unfortunate. Well, take this. On behalf of the show, I'd like to offer you a free paternity test. Your taxi will be waiting for you at the front entrance.
Eh, boy? Oh, what you mean there? What you mean we only got one man to drive back at the hotel? Man must have bring at least 10 of them here. You go hire another driver to bring the rest of them along. Yeah, man, I don't like that at all, you know. Hey man, what happened to the rest of you? The Babylon royal family. Where them I go?
All of the time.